Today we're going to talk about the Barbarian subclass that gets our hands dirtier in combat than any other Barbarian in 5th edition D&D.
That's right. Today we talk Path of the Beast Barbarian for 5e.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
And I'm Nerdarchy Dave. Welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds.
Now let us tear into this Barbarian subclass.
All right, Path of the Beast. We've got Barbarians who walk the Path of the Beast. Their rage from a bestial spark burning in their souls. That beast bursts forth in the throes of rage, physically transforming the barbarian. Such a barbarian might be inhabited by primal spirit or descendant of shapeshifters. You can choose the origin of your feral might or determine it by rolling on the origin beast table. So like this kind of like barbarian to me is like, it's like the like you want to play the Wolverine character because you literally have the claws that tear things apart, or even like you know, from Norse mythology, the skin changer, the berserker that actually transforms in battle. Like that's this barbarian.
All right, so before we go any further right now, let's take a moment to check in with our sponsor. From the amazing people over at 1985 Games comes Dungeon Notes. Dungeon Notes offers a great way to organize your session notes, whether you're a player or a DM. Each book comes with areas to break down NPCs, factions, gods, and many others. Dungeon Notes also offers campaign sticky notes for more detailed information right into the section that's necessary. If you're the type of player who enjoys taking notes for your games, you need to check out this Kickstarter.
Yeah, link in the description below. Those sticky notes sound awesome. I am a big fan of Post-its, and these are going to help to keep things a little bit more organized at your table, no matter what side of the screen you're on. So, all right, now let's jump into it. And, you know, Path of the Beast, we love it whenever you get one of these cool, nifty little flavor tables to kind of add to it. And they give you some ideas. We have Origin of the Beast.
I love these kinds of things as well. And as always, you can take these things, roll randomly to see what it's going to give you, choose the one that best fits you, or use it as inspiration to come up with your own unique origin of why you are this type of thing. But what's there? You've got your descendant from an archdruid, a lycanthrope, a fae, or an ancient animal spirit dwells within you, allowing you to walk this path. Like, these things are just amazing. And I couldn't love this one more.
Yeah, I mean, down in the comments, let us know, you know, would you pick one of those? Would you roll randomly? Would you make up your own? Are you playing Path of the Beast in your game? Tell us about it in the comments and share with the Nerdarchy community.
And speaking of sharing, if you'd like to help Nerdarchy appease the YouTube algorithm, do all those cool things that make the YouTube happy. Like, share, subscribe, comment, even ring that notification bell.
Quick reminder, we drop new Nerdarchy videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so come on back to the channel and check it out.
So as with subclasses, you know, you're going to get the unique abilities for this one. We start off at 3rd level, Form of the Beast. When you enter a rage, you can transform, revealing the bestial power within you. Until the rage ends, you manifest a natural weapon. It counts as a simple melee weapon for you, and you add your strength modifier to the attack and damage rolls when you attack with it as normal. You can choose the weapon's form each time you rage, so, you know, doesn't limit you. You can get a bite, a claw, or a tail. Your mouth transforms into bestial muzzle or great mandibles, your choice, dealing 1d8 piercing damage on a hit. Once on each of your turns, when you damage a creature with this bite, you regain a number of hit points equal to your proficiency bonus, providing you have at least half your hit points when you hit. Claws, when each of your hands transforms into a claw, which you can use as a weapon if it's empty. It deals 1d6 slashing damage on a hit. Once on each of your turns when you attack. When using a claw with the attack action, you can make one additional claw as part of the same action. And tail, you grow a lashing spiny tail which deals 1d8 piercing damage on a hit and has the reach property. If the creature you can see within 10 feet of you hits with an attack roll, you can use your reaction to swipe your tail and roll a d8, applying bonus to your AC equal to the number rolled, potentially causing the attack to miss.
So we've got, do you want to be more tanky? Do you want to attack more? And do you want to be more tanky again? So, you know, being able to regain hit points, which you get down to half, which is really hard for a barbarian at times, you know, depending on what you're fighting, the fact that you have resistance to a lot of damage and you have a lot of hit points as a barbarian. And then, you know, you're going to get to do that little bit of healing every time you bite. So in theory, like eventually you're going to be probably attacking twice a round. and you're going to be mitigating the damage you take, not just through your resistance now, but through you getting those hit points back. Extra more attacks with a barbarian is kind of a big deal, because it's going to be all about adding that modifier again and again, as well as adding that rage damage again and again. Although, so here's the thing, right? I feel like a lot of barbarians use big heavy weapons most of the time, and are going to take great weapon fighting. So now you can't really do that, because you're using these claws. It's not like I believe you could use your bonus action to make another attack. So this option may not be that great, in the sense that you're dropping down to that die 6, even though you get that extra attack. I feel like the barbarian with great weapon fighter, who is going to be able to get that +10 to damage, and also if they score a critical or drop something, they can use that bonus action to attack again. This option might actually be less appealing than it looks up front.
So the way I look at claws is, each of your hands, because it does say each, turns into a weapon that deals a d6 slashing. So I could technically attack with this hand, and as a bonus action, attack with this hand. Playing a barbarian who uses 2 weapon fighting, I know that definitely applies. The way it says, which you can use as a weapon, also means if you wind up going down, the dual weapon fighting feat, you get the fighting style and the feat, you're going to be able to apply your strength modifier to that offhand attack. And then it's going to...
Well, not through the feat. You need the fighting style.
Right,
you did say that.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. Like, 2 weapon fighting has very specific rules. Like, you have to use 2 light weapons, I believe, in order to do it. And because these weapons don't have properties, technically you can't 2 weapon fight with your claws. I mean, your DM might be like, whatever, but just by raw, you show up at Adventures League or whatever, they'd be like, nah, sorry, dude.
All right, well, I would say that, certainly your D6 claw that is your hand is certainly going to be lighter than if you add a dagger to it. Or a short sword, which would be equivalent to the damage and the thing. So at my table, that would totally apply. So once you have extra attack at 5th level, you're technically attacking more often using my style than what a fighter would until they get to the level at 11th when they get their extra attack.
So like, even if you look at the monk, like the monk has specific rules on their martial arts that allows it to make that extra attack as a bonus action.
Yep.
All the time. So that's all I'm saying. Like, obviously, like in our games, we're a little willy-nilly with the rules at times, and be like, oh, you want to attack 4 times with your claws? Go for it, right? And we would probably allow it. It's at that point, then it kind of starts to equal out to the barbarian that's using a big weapon and great weapon fighter. And again, too, if the offhand, you need a fighting style in order to get your strength damage.
Right.
Add it to that as well. But so I will say, like, when I saw this, it made me think of one of your very first characters. This character used psychometabolism as a psionicist to take on the aspects of a scorpion, right?
Yep.
So I could definitely see like manifesting pinchers with this, and it's there, or the tail. Did you ever think you'd be able to recreate that character again, but using a barbarian instead of a psionic character?
Not really. Grevin the Beardless One, the Dark Dwarven Psionicist from 2nd edition, who is dead but has been immortalized in miniature form over on the my mini shelf over here. Never thought that he'd be a barbarian above everything else. But when you said, oh, this reminds me of a former character, this to me, I was thinking more along the lines of my barbarian druid, Raganthar, who literally had magic items that turned his hands into claws. So that technically is reaching out to 2 different characters that I have played at our gaming table in years past, both in a character in 2nd edition and a character in 3rd.
So at 6th level, we get Bistro Soul. The feral power within increases, causing the natural weapons of your form of the beast to count as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage. You also alter your form to help you adapt to your surroundings when you finish a short or long rest. Choose one of the following benefits, which lasts until you finish your next short or long rest. Climbing. Gain a climbing speed equal to your walking speed, and you can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, without needing to make ability checks. Jumping. When you jump, you can make a strength athletics check and extend your jump by the number of feet equal to the check's total. You can make this special check only once per turn. Swimming, you can gain a swim speed equal to your walking speed. You can breathe underwater. So you get a lot of utility. They're all super useful. Depending on what environment you're going into, you can kind of pick and choose, switching out with your rests. The one that creates the biggest question for me is the jumping.
I was going to go there because usually anytime something increases, allows you to jump further, it says that you technically, can only move your speed. And I know it's entirely possible for someone to just be like, oh, I'm going to have this ridiculous jump total because I rolled a 20. I've got, a 21 or 22 strength because I'm a ridiculous barbarian. I've somehow managed to get expertise. So you can get 17, 18 points to the roll. That's 38 possible using the avenues that I'm aware of. And then added to, I'm going to add 38 feet to my jump distance. And it doesn't say that it limits. So that could technically add to your speed for the round based on its roll. I don't know if that's what it's intended for, but that's the way it's written.
And also, I would so want a ring of jumping for this character. I do have it for a different character, but I believe that triples your the distance. Like you rebounding like the Incredible Hulk for your game. Based off of just that, I think we're at 100-foot jumps. And technically, you could still dash and move, right?
Totally the way the Incredible Hulk, charges and then just flies.
Yeah. Oh my god! And then combine that with the charger feet. Yeah, you could totally jump 100 feet, run for your 40 feet or 45 feet, and then with the charger feet, slash at someone or tail them or whatever you're going to do. Kind of the Incredible Hulk style. So I think I like these, and I just think the jumping could get a little ridiculous depending on how it all comes together. And also, if you happen to be raging, you'll get advantage on that athletics check, so you can jump even further.
So, all ridiculousness aside, you're gonna have to rule it at your table. For this one, I'm gonna say that you can only cover as much distance for your speed as per normal, even though that's not what's specifically written here. So loosey goosey, however you want to do it at your particular table.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if there's a sage advice on this one or not. I'm curious as to what the official ruling is. At my table, you can jump 100 feet. I don't care.
All right, so 10th level, we're going to get Infectious Fury. When you hit a creature with your natural weapons while you are raging, the beast within you can curse your target with Rabid Fury. The target must succeed on a Wisdom save, DC 8, plus your con mod, plus your proficiency bonus, or suffer one of the following effects, your choice. The target must use its reaction to make a melee attack against another creature of your choice that you can see, or the target takes 2d12 psychic damage. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
So, that first ability, it just makes me think, I'm going to hit you so hard your mom's going to feel it.
All right, that's a little ridiculous. I think most barbarians are going to choose the psychic damage here, unless the creature's got a ally within range. But the fun aspect of making having a barbarian make an attack, causing their enemy to have to swing at one of their allies, That's pretty darn
Yeah.
comical.
You're right. Like that psychic damage is nice. I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at. Well, here's my thoughts. One is it requires the reaction to do it, right?
mhm.
And two, if it is a monster that has a high attack bonus and does a lot of damage, maybe they have a special ability or something, totally worth it. And two, like
Oh, of course.
maybe like you're just trying to trick them into fighting amongst themselves. So so that would be the other aspect. But yeah, a lot of times just doing an extra 2 die 12 psychic damage is probably your go-to. But I feel like there's some utility in using the one where you make them attack and make them use their reaction. For whatever reason,
I
maybe you want to move out of combat or you want an ally to be able to move out of combat. Now they don't have the reaction to make that attack of opportunity.
I think making them lose their reaction is a very big deal. Um, I think that definitely could, as you said, have some serious utility where you're not really getting the aspect of, well, if it happens to be a caster, they're not going to be able to counterspell, they're not going to be able to shield. If you have an ally that might move out of combat for safety, this does stop any opportunity attacks coming because they don't have that reaction anymore. So definitely a lot of fun things that can be done there. So well worth exploring and allow you as the player to kind of play this barbarian uh, as a party helper with that particular role.
So, as the dungeon master, this example comes to mind, and that is if you're using ogres, right? I don't know if it's a good example because at this point you're a 10th level party, but multiple ogres, and you have one ogre attack the other. As the dungeon master, I would probably have the ogre that just got attacked, then attack his buddy because it just seems like an ogre thing to do. Getting mad because your friend just punched you in the face, so you punch him in the face back. So there are circumstances like that too that I could see where it might be beneficial to try and turn the enemies against each other.
That totally makes a lot of sense. So if you're fighting against an unintelligent reactionary foe, that could be a very useful tactic. It's going to really come down to, is your DM willing to buy into that particular story? Does another player use a free action to speak and be like, dude, why did he attack you? To kind of egg them on, and perhaps they fight amongst themselves while you all slink away. But if the barbarian is already raging to be able to cause this to happen, does the barbarian want to leave combat too? So
Yeah. Whatever. You leave the ogres and barbarian to it, and the wizard and bard and fighter go have a beer at the tavern. So at 14th level, we get Call the Hunt. The beast within you grows powerful that you can spread its ferocity to others and gain resilience from them joining your hunt. When you enter a rage, you can choose a number of other willing creatures you can see within 30 feet of you equal to your constitution modifier, minimum of one creature. You gain 5 temporary hit points for each creature that accepts this feature. Till the rage ends, the chosen creatures can each use the following benefit once on each of their turns. When the creature hits a target with an attack roll and deals damage to it, the creature can roll a d6 and gain a bonus to their damage equal to the number rolled. Can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
So pretty useful. Barbarians are known to have the high con because they're buckets of hit points usually. So definitely you can increase your own tankiness by having this slew of temporary hit points. If you have a very martial party, there's no drawback to any of the people joining the hunt. They just happen to gain a bonus that if they happen to hit with an attack roll and deal damage, they can add the bonus. But there's nothing beyond that. So I mean, even technically, the wizard, when they cast a spell that makes an attack roll, that's still technically gonna work because it doesn't say a weapon attack. It just says an attack roll that deals damage.
And there's no detriment to them doing it, like you said. So like even if none of them are going to use, there's no reason for them to turn it down, right?
Right.
So you're just looking at, I'm going to call it 14th level. I'm just calling it 20 to 25 temporary hit points you're going to get. Generally, you're probably only going to do this once per combat. You could technically do it multiple times. It's not likely to happen multiple times because it's when you enter the rage. So and also there will be no additional benefit to your companions. But then again, if you have this ability and you can use it 6 times a day and you get knocked out of your rage for whatever reason, like, I don't know, I don't think we've ever had 6 combats in the same day, right, of play. And if we have, it's been a long time since that's ever happened. So that's kind of like a non-issue. I have seen in our own games where barbarians will have something happen and they lose their rage, so they have to rage again. So there's probably no reason to not do this if you've taken damage and those temporary hit points have been knocked down already.
Absolutely, being able to just be like, all right, I'm gonna do this again just to get those hit points. I mean, it's free, free healing essentially. Temporary hit points are incredibly helpful, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go ahead, rage again, refill those temporary hit points, and keep on going.
So overall, what do you think of this subclass, Ted?
I love it. As you pointed out, it definitely harkens back to multiple characters that I have played. It takes Barbarian on a much, as it's called, a much more bestial path than any of the others. Other than the couple of things that we pointed out that we'd like some clarifications on, I think this is fantastic and can't wait till I get to play one.
Agreed. If you want to get down and dirty in combat with a barbarian, this seems like the one to use for sure. And hey, do you want more Tasha's content? Check out this video we did, D&D Books Most Evil Domes. It's up here somewhere, so click.
And there's no need to swear an oath to Nerdarchy. Throwing a coin to your Nerdarchist over on Patreon is more than enough.
Not only will becoming a patron help us keep creating content, you'll receive cool monthly rewards like 5e content for players and DMs alike.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.